And welcome to December's coaching clinic. Life's not all on you. So I really sat with what I wanted this topic to be that we would finish the year with. And it really just came to me that the thing I really enjoy the most and talk about the most and play at the most in my own life is just letting it all go, being guided, being supported rather than efforting and struggling and worrying. And I think I've gotten pretty good at that. And definitely in the last 4 years since my partner died, my experience of a deeper connection to something that wants to help us has grown. But luckily, you don't have to have had someone leave your world physically for this to be your experience in life. I'm going to share today a simple understanding that many of us have been exploring together in the past year or more that just allows for us to relax and receive in life. Even if we've been accustomed to efforting and pushing and sort of having it all on us to make things happen. So delighted you can be with me for this today, friends. And it is recorded, so you can watch the replay in due course on the website. But let's get started as we usually do with a gentle grounding exercise. If you just join with me now as we close our eyes, and whether you're sitting on a chair or lying on a sofa, just allow yourself to feel supported. So if you have to adjust anything, please do so now. And take a couple of breaths in through the nose and out. And turn your palms upwards as though you're kind of sitting waiting for a gift. Just let your palms rest easy, but turn them upwards. And continue to do that breathing, just gently in through the nose and out. As you really begin to set intention to receive what you need to receive through this clinic today, to see more clearly what you need to see, to know more deeply what you need to know. Letting go all distractions to just be in this moment together. And in your mind's eye, see roots coming from your feet, down through the ground, down into the underground, and right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. Wrap those roots around that rock and see golden light emanating from that rock. See that light moving now from the rock up through the underground, through the ground, up through your floorboards and into your feet. This light holds healing, is a healing nature. So as you witness it moving through your body now, if there's anywhere that needs special healing or attention, be sure to send the light there. So see this beautiful golden light moving through the feet and into the ankles and up through the shins and the calves and into the kneecaps and up through the front of the thighs and up through the back of the thighs, up into the spine, up through the front of the body, into the stomach, up through the back of the spine, into the shoulders, and up through the front of the body, through the stomach, all the way up to the chin. And now through the back of the head and through the front of the face, and down through the hair or the side of the face, down into the shoulders, and down through the upper arms, the elbows, the lower arms, and through the hands and out through the fingertips. Your entire body now enveloped in this healing elixir of golden light. In your mind's eye, see a backpack. You're carrying it, you're holding it. What's in it? What is it that you think is all on you lately? What is it you're efforting around? What is it you're pushing or striving around? What is it that looks up to you? Place it in the backpack. And if it's already in there, that's all well. And take a moment to just remove that pack from your back. Just a simple exercise of taking it off and set it down. You're not avoiding or forgetting the area that you're efforting in or looking for help in. You're just not going to carry it so heavily anymore. And free of the weight of this backpack, in your mind's eye, just see yourself now stepping onto a beautiful golden path. Begin to walk along the path, noticing the nature around you. The sun is beaming down. And at the top of the path is a body of water. Walk towards it now. And just beyond the body of water is a bench. Go there now and have a seat, feeling a little lighter without the weight of this pack. Notice how the water is glistening and the sun is shining. And in this quiet moment of surrender, connect with your own wisdom, your own guidance, and ask any question and receive your answer inside. trusting what you hear or see or feel. And if nothing is coming, setting intention that you would receive your answer through this clinic or through your own sleep tonight, awakening with clarity on anything you need to do or anything you need to know. Standing up from the bench, begin to walk again round the body of water and along the golden path. And at the end of that path, there's a little white fence with a gate. Just open the gate and step down a couple of steps into this moment. Feel yourself in your body once again, the support of your chair or your sofa or your bed. Beginning to gently move your fingers or toes. And in your mind's eye, just seeing those roots coming from your feet, down through the ground, down into the underground, and right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. Wrap those roots around that rock. Feel yourself firmly planted, connected, wide open to receive. Taking a breath now, letting go. And just gently opening back into the session, opening your eyes, slowly writing anything down that maybe has come to you, and letting yourself be here now. So often, we forget that we can get still and hear or connect with or feel the answer. When we're efforting and worrying about something, it's the time that we usually totally forget that we can get still and let go. We can hand over whatever it is that's on our minds. We can have an answer immediately. And yet, it's so powerful to allow ourselves to simply get present and receive the guidance. And the guidance might just be a feeling of peace in the moment, or a sense of relief, or the backpack being removed. The guidance may not necessarily be some big action plan. We want to get sensitive to the feeling of pushing and efforting and worrying. And we want to begin to see that any feeling of pushing and efforting and worrying, any feeling of lack of flow, is an invitation to the quiet. is an invitation to come back to now and simply let go. It's the one thing we most avoid doing when we're stressed or worried. It doesn't make sense to the ego. It seems irrelevant. And yet, we're all connected to divine mind. We all have this incredible source of energy breathing life into us, available with solutions for us that we hear as guidance. So ordinary. We just hear or know as guidance. So when I share about life not being all on you, it's not some nice idea. It's really an invitation to get curious and get more interested in something bigger than you that wants to support you, is living through you, is breathing you. And our feelings of effort and stress and struggle let us know when we've moved away from that and it's back on us. There's too much us involved. As I said at the beginning, you don't have to have the death of a loved one or even a loved one of some form, you know, on the other side as it's described. This is your true nature. This is your version of divine mind working through you. And if you're open to it, if you are lucky enough to have someone that you trusted deeply or you admired or was an advisor to you or just someone that you feel would want to support you, if you're lucky enough to have that on the other side, you get to call on that energy too. It seems to me now that life would just be so much more effortful if I had no understanding of divine mind, and if I didn't have a loved one on the other side that I deeply connect with, that I invite to support me with things. And miracle after miracle after miracle has left me with no doubt that if we're open to it, there is a consciousness and an energy that can really do the heavy lifting for you, can really smooth the pathway. Divine guidance, hearing your guidance, is a way that we experience that connection with divine mind, that connection with a loved one, that connection with a consciousness that's greater than our small selves. which is why, again, when you're feeling like life is an effort, when you're feeling the struggle, it's an invitation to get still, to quieten down, and to go inside. I really felt this when I worked with a client last week. And, you know, she innocently had been so caught up about thinking that she needed to be visible on social media, otherwise things were never going to move for her in her business. And it's been my experience of her that she's shy. She doesn't want to post on social media. And the good news is, nor should she have to. But in her mind, she'd been efforting about, I should be doing this, and what should I say, and what am I about, and shouldn't I just get it out there? And she had created so much noise innocently, searching for ideas, thinking that was the only way or the next way to receive clients. I could really feel how it was all on her. Like she really just saw, it's really up to me if I'm going to get clients. It's really on me. And as we talked, she started to see that even without social media, even without promoting herself, even without talking much about what she does and how she helps, she has had a series of referrals. We started to explore where that comes from. How is it possible if there's no marketing really going on? And she saw more deeply, it, it, it was never on her to get those clients or receive those opportunities. She began to see that life sent her people. And it really helped when she was not in an experience of efforting and struggling and trying to come up with ideas to explain what she does. That over the years, life has sent her people anyway. Now, this is just a practical example of, you know, it's not on us to even explain what we do. The opportunity might present itself where you get to share how you can help. But in her example, I was so reminded of how even money, even clientele, even growing your business is not, it's not all on you. You have something that is of great benefit to humanity, all of you. You have a deeper understanding, most of you, no doubt, of how the mind works, of what it's really all about. And it seems to me that life will want to use you to spread that, to uplift and support humanity. And yet, how innocently and how often we can get caught in the loop of efforting and struggling and taking it upon ourselves to let the world know and do what you're supposed to do. Now, I'm not saying that no action is required, but you might discover that since you're not selling a drug that harms people, since you actually are giving a service to people that supports their well-being, you might get curious that life will want to find a way to use you, and use you often and use you quickly. So there's great benefit of us getting out of the way. How do we get out of the way? Well, it's going to shock you. Sit back, relax, and receive. Notice when we're in the experience of efforting or struggling, and let that be our feedback that we have stepped away from divine mind, that we have forgotten that we have an entire spiritual team at our beck and call. That's what's so powerful about strong feelings like stress and tension and effort and upset. Those strong feelings are just such wonderful, fast feedback for when we've taken it upon ourselves to try and figure something out. And yet, inside ourselves, as we get quiet, we hear or know the solution or the direction. Outside ourselves, as we get curious about a potential network of allies, a consciousness that's looking over us and interested in us and connected with us, available to guide and support us. Why would we bother trying so hard to get the thing or figure out the way that's leaving us in a feeling of stress or lack or scarcity? I want to invite you today to consider that you're just working too hard. It's a habit that too much you is involved. And your guidance is one thought away. But to experience that guidance, it's helpful to get still, to let go, to relax and receive, to take your mind off the problem. Trusting that there is a powerful connection to the divine that wants to help you. You're not selling drugs on the street. You're not putting people's well-being at risk. You're offering something that supports humanity, whether that's in your own household as a mother or father or partner, or whether that's out in the world as a teacher or a coach or a healer, whatever it is you're up to in the world, a business person. you're offering a greater experience of well-being. Let's get interested in seeing that life wants to support that. Life's very interested in getting that out there and using you in a way that creates even more of that well-being for humanity. So I hope you're at least gently beginning to get a feel for, maybe you don't have to push so hard or think about it so much or effort around it so much. I hope that maybe you're getting a feel for something so much greater working through you, wanting to support you. And I hope you're maybe even getting a feel for a, a network around you, a team of loving, supportive energies that may include someone that you were very close to, or may just include people that that you once admired, but that there's the possibility that you could actually just begin to hand the backpack over and sit back, relax, and receive. Let's open it up here. If there are any questions or comments or anything that you want to share within the clinic today, let's open it up and see. I'd probably do better when there's a question or a comment, but let's open it up and see what you're sensing from this. Charlene has just written something, I think. I think that's what I'm missing, the loving presence. Okay. Did you want to come on, Charlene? I see you've unmuted.
Yes. It's a bit dark here. Let me just turn my video off.
Okay. Great to see you.
Too. So I know that what you're saying is true. I know it. It rings clear like a bell. And at the same time, I find that it takes a lot of work for my body to catch up with what you're saying. And, I feel all of the hard work and everything that I'm doing and so intensely involved in my business, and I love what I do. And I also know what it feels like to let go of control and to surrender. I am not, I know that God loves me. I know that. But I don't feel that. It does feel like I am here and I just need to figure it out. And I also believe that I'm not feeling that because I am so focused on what I am doing and all of my responsibilities, and I'm kind of rushing around and working too many hours. And so I'm sure that that would obstruct any kind of loving feeling in any relationship I'm in, much less a spiritual being. But I do think that what you've said for me is the real key. about connecting to that. Like there's a God that loves me. I'd love to hear your counsel on what I've said, if you have anything to say, because I think that for me is the missing piece.
Mhm. Well, thank you for sharing that so openly, Charlene. That's, I can feel your clarity. And I guess I want to highlight that for you. It's like, you're so clear that maybe all the running around and the efforting would leave you not feeling so connected to a loving presence. And yet it's there. That's why I start the clinic with this kind of grounding exercise, because how often are we all feeling disconnected from the truth? In your seeing of the game you're playing, even though I know in all your heart you love what you do and you help so many people, in your seeing of the game you're playing, you might get curious about playing it differently. You might begin to notice when you're overextending yourself. You might begin to look at your calendar on a practical level and begin to say, well, I'm going to space that out a bit, or I'm going to make sure that there's room first for me there, and then for X, Y, and Z. When we're not feeling connected, or another way to say that is when we're just feeling very much on the merry-go-round, that sort of efforting and pushing, the last thing we think about doing is quietening down. And yet it's the thing that will move the needle forward the quickest. So you don't have to, you don't even, your body doesn't have to catch up with this right now. But you might just get curious that you're hearing something that rings true, is what you said. What if that's enough?
I'm nodding, by the way. I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah. What if it's not more complicated than, I'm hearing something true here, and I think there's something about the way I'm playing the game that I might like to change.
Something else that you said was about creating space. You said that a few times. And I'd like to do that. I think in any relationship, it's going to be difficult to receive love from your partner if you don't create space for them and for the two of you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Lovely. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, space isn't optional. Like, it's something we all want to start getting more interested in. Giving ourselves enough time, giving ourselves enough space, giving ourselves enough enjoyment it allows for life to rush in. One of the ways that understanding divine mind really supported me was, I used to be very stingy with myself when it came to time. And I spent a lot of my experience in life rushing, 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 rushing. And it's not that I worked on that, it's rather that I began to settle internally. I realized that my outer rushing was indicative of a mind that was going extremely fast. And as I began understanding the principles more deeply and being curious about, you know, the quiet, creating space for myself, like the mind started to settle and the rushing began to fall away. To the point that I remember getting in the car one day and being back in the experience of rushing. And it occurred to me, oh my God, I used to live like this all the time. I've not been doing this for a long time. Wow, what a shift. So spaciousness inside, not just outside, is key. And as we get sensitive to the feeling of efforting, rushing, stressing, we begin to take that as an indicator that it's time to slow down, get back to the center. It is not time to keep pushing. We can get the feeling of stress and think that that means we need to pay attention. It doesn't. We get the feeling of stress and it lets us know that our mind is going really fast and busy. Anybody else? How do you slow down when it feels like deadlines are pressuring you? Thanks, Lindsay. That's a great question. Yeah. It helped me to see that deadlines are made up. They're a way of, they can be helpful for people, but if you notice that they feel more like they're putting a gun to your head, you might want to get curious about the deadline. I can't remember where it comes from, but it's not relevant. We can slow down regardless of the deadline by realizing that for whatever reason, we have used the deadline as an excuse to speed up inside. We have used the experience of a deadline as the reason we need to go faster or get worried or get stressed. There is a way to be in action in the world without a gun to your head. There is a way to be in action in the world, be productive in the world without scaring ourselves. Now, in some cases, a deadline is really helpful. I don't think I would have gotten my book proposal created or anything like that if there hadn't been a deadline. But what I noticed about it as I went along was I could be in the experience of worrying about meeting it and therefore feeling pressure, or I could hold it lightly and know that Divine Mind is going to work through me here and we'll meet the deadline. Again, like for me, Lindsay, handing it over usually allows me to get out of the way and therefore get the work done. Feelings of pressure and stress and tension, holding a date in my mind heavily, just an indicator that we're going too fast and too heavy about this inside. We want to relax and get this done, and we will get it done on time. The feeling of pressure is so helpful because it's letting us know when we're holding too tightly, when it's all on us. So have fun with deadlines, but know that you're not going to die. You're really not going to die. And just notice when you're beginning to use your thinking to scare yourself or pressurize yourself or worry yourself about meeting it.
Different things, different channels, but you don't really feel like you're getting the real return on investment. If you stare
See, if it was really up to me, I'd probably never meet any deadline, which is why, again, I like to hand it over, which is why I share with you, life's not all on you. How do I hand it over? Okay, Divine Mind or spiritual team, God within, whatever, source, okay, work through me. I can't do this on my own, but I know you can. Kathy's written, I'm seeing that I'm caught in the efforting loop of how. Yeah. Yeah, that question of how leaves no space for the download. But again, Kathy, brilliant that you're seeing it, The feeling of effort is letting us know we're caught in a loop of thinking. There's no space. Anybody else got a curiosity, a comment, a question, a realization? Something that they want to hear about?
Hi there. I have a comment.
Hi there, Sarah. Go ahead.
Hi, Grace. Yeah, it's a really beautiful discussion. And I guess I just want to acknowledge that I notice in my own communion time with spirit, and my own practice around connecting in that, and even just listening right now, sometimes there's just this really big sense of unworthiness that rises up in me. Um, like I've been so deeply touched by um, by the grace of the divine care that is, that I experience and how it comes to meet me when I ask for it. And when I tune into it and get still enough, and open to receive it. And there's just this really old place of programming or wounding or something around just feeling really small and unworthy that that comes up. And yeah, I guess I just wanted to name that. I don't know the answer for it, but it just feels valuable to put it out there, acknowledge it.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. I can imagine that you're not the only one um that comes up for.
Yeah.
And I think we all have it come up in different areas. Um,
I think I think there's something that's even, sorry to interrupt you. I realize that one of the things that like just occurred to me, and I forget this piece, but occasionally I will do this in the moment, is like I'll ask my team, my divine team, to take that from me, to assist me with that, with the healing around that, um, healing of that unworthiness or that perception of it, and show me the truth.
mhm.
So that's actually a kind of a beautiful way to tend to that. But yeah, I think it is nice. I think it's valuable and meaningful, to know that we're not alone with those waves of stuff that come up around a theme like feeling unworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waves are a lovely description. Waves of thought,
Mm.
not waves of truth.
Mm.
Waves of thought that each of us humans have an experience. And yet how helpful your wisdom brings you the suggestion to hand it over. There's some part of us that knows, hang on, this needs to go in my backpack, because this, this needs handed over. This isn't, that's huge for you to be able to see that you don't even have to analyze it or worry about it or get rid of it, that your wisdom can just bring you that beautiful direction of that, help take this from me or help me see this differently. And that's powerful when so many humans walk this world convinced that the unworthy feeling means something.
Yeah.
Waves of thought, sometimes they're pleasant and sometimes they're not. And when they're not, the feeling isn't so pleasant either.
Mm.
But hey, how beautiful, we get to hand it over. That's you living what I'm sharing today. Life's not all on you. That's you living it, Sarah. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. You're each living this your way. I'm sure that either you'll see that or you'll notice that, but you're each living this your way, and you can trust your wisdom to guide you when you get lost in the efforting and the pushing and the striving. I simply want to invite you and encourage you to get more sensitive to that more quickly, meaning if you're noticing that it's all on you, if the feeling is pressure and effort, it is nothing more than an invitation to let go, sit back, relax, receive. You can call on a spiritual team to support you with that, like Sarah demonstrated. Or you can simply just be in your own stillness, receiving your guidance your way. There's no right or wrong. The point here is that we begin to see that our feelings are feedback for the state of mind we're in, not feedback that there's something deeply wrong. I hope that's been helpful. This last session of the year, I've loved being with you throughout 2024, and I'm excited to see what 2025 brings us. We will continue with the first Tuesday of the month for the clinic. And I can just tell you now, actually, that will be Tuesday, the 7th of January will be our clinic. If my way of sharing with you is settling, is helpful, feel free to be in touch if you'd like to explore some private coaching for 2025. You can message me on gracefulcoaching@gmail.com. And you can find all the recordings to these clinics over on the website. I can post that for you here now that we finally have, I think, every single clinic is now up on the website. So I'll just post that for you here in case you don't have it. Make sure you're registered there as well. Let me go here. Sorry, I should have had that organized for you. Here we go. And as always, this space is mostly about the feeling we drop into. So take this feeling with you before you rush to give it away. I know you'll want to, but before you rush to give it away, just receive it for yourself. Receive it for yourself and be curious about being in that more and more. That's your true nature. That's divine mind working through you. It's who you really are. So I'll see you next year. Lots of love, everybody. Take care. Thanks for being here. Bye.